days, sunny days. Ooh-wee, ooh-way. Sunny days, sunny days. Ooh-wee, ooh-way. Give me sunny days, sunny days. Ooh-wee, ooh-way. Give me sunny days, sunny days. Sunny day today, and I'm feeling it. Give me sunny days, sunny days. Give me more days, give me more days like this one, day soaked in fun. Don't need no shelter for 12 hours or so. I got a piece of heaven, feels like I won. The shine is flowing, so ready, let's go. Give me sunny days, sunny days. Ooh-wee, ooh-way. Give me sunny days, ooh-wee, ooh-way. Give me a rhythm as I swing all around. Keep me dancing in them pouring rays. I left my worries indoors, I sat them down and said you won't get me today. I made a promise to the sun. We both agreed to rest at night. And while she sees me having fun, she'll let me glow in all her light. Sunny days, sunny days. Ooh-wee, ooh-way. Give me sunny days, sunny days. Ooh-wee, give me sunny days, sunny days. Ooh-wee, ooh-way. Give me sunny days, sunny days. Ooh-wee, ooh-way. I didn't want you around. Those pretty faces always make you stand out in the crowd. But someone plucked from the bunch. One glance was all it took. Now it's much too late for me to take a second look. Let me sing it now. Oh baby, give me one more chance to show you that I love you. Won't you please let me back in your heart? Oh darling, I was blind to let you go, baby. Now since I see you in its own, I want you back. I do now. I want you back. Ooh, ooh, baby. I want you back. Yeah, 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 yeah. I want you back. Nah, 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 nah. Trying to live without your love is like one long best night. Let me show you, girl, that I know wrong and right. Every block you walk on, I leave these stains on the ground. Following the girl, didn't even want around. Let me tell you now, oh baby, give me one more chance. show you that love. Won't you please let me back in your heart? Oh, darling, I was blind to let you go, baby. Now since I see you, it is on. Won't you back home? I do now. Won't you back home? Ooh, baby, having a party. Equinox party, her party now. I want you back now. Her party, oh, the Equinox. Her party now. I want you back now. Her party, oh, the Equinox. Her party now. I want you back now. Her party, oh, the Equinox. Her party now. I want you back now. Her party, oh, the Equinox. I want you back now. I want you back now. Her party, oh, the Equinox. I want you back now. I want you back now. Her party, oh, the Equinox. I want you back now. I want you back now. Her party, oh, the Equinox. I want you back now. My body back on the Equinox. Oh, baby, give me one more chance. Won't you please let me back on the Equinox? Oh, darling, I was blind to let you go. Now since I see you, it is on. Now that I see you, it is on. I want you back. Now since I see you, it is on. I want you back, oh. What's up, Equinox Party? We ready to feel good? Let's feel good today. I'm Ki5, I'm a live vocal looper, having a little fun out here. Let's have even more fun.
Laughing gas, these ass smash, line them up like ass crack. Play these ponies at the track, it's my chocolate attack. Yo, I'm jumping in the hardest here, Care Bear representing the hardest here. Watch me as I gravitate. Going ghost town, it's Motown, it's your sound. You in the place, invite the dust, can't fight with us with your sound. You kill it, so don't stop, get it, until you're steady, heavy, steady. Watch me navigate. Feel good. Feel good.
strike. It is sinking, falling now. Love forever, love is free. Let's turn forever, you and me. Windmill, for the land is every day.
Don't stop, get it, until you get it. Steady, watch me navigate. Don't stop, get it, until you get it. Steady, watch me navigate. Don't stop, get it, until you get it. Steady, watch me navigate. Don't stop, get it, until you get it. Steady, watch me navigate.
Stains my shirt in the afternoon. The more I tense up, the more I waste the brew. I come home, bitter face, eyes up my sleeve. She opens her mouth and I remember peace. She says, honey, you always look good to me. Is cute, she lets me be. Sleep an hour, get up at 3. TV's on, level whispering. Clench my eyes, I can't rest for shit. A hand sneaks up on mine before she sits. She says, honey, you always look good to me. Honey, you always look good to me. Use your eyes, she lets me be. Look good to me. Honey, you always 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 look good to me. Ease your look good to me. Ease your eyes. You always look good to me. Ease your eyes, she lets me be. Ease my eyes, she sets me looking for the sun, waiting for the proof that I'm not the only one. I've been on my own, looking for the sun, waiting for the proof that I'm not the only one. Living in the fog, scared to run, breathing misty air. Ooh, is anybody out there? Every bump is a hill to fall from. Had for last week, sad for this one. But can anybody tell? Do I give it up in my eyes? Do you know me so well? Do I try to hide it from myself? That I know there's a better way to live. I've been on my own, looking for the sun, waiting for the proof that I'm not the only one. I've been on my own, looking for the sun, waiting for the proof that I'm not the only one. I've been on my own. Round two, reset, the air's clear, but why's the sky still shaded? And while I never thought I'd make a splash on top of the park, now I'm worried that they'll figure out I'm afraid of the dark. Oh, is it you too? Can you hear me? How do I live well? Can you help me see clearly? My need is dire, cause someday I'm set to expire. I've been on my own, looking for the sun, waiting for the proof that I'm not the only one, and everybody sitting around me smiling happy. If I wait in the backseat, don't wait in the backseat. I've been on my own, looking for the sun, waiting for the proof that I'm not the only one, and everybody sitting around me smiling happy. If I wait in the backseat, don't wait in the backseat. I've been on my own, looking for the sun, proof that I'm not the only one, and everybody sitting around me smiling happy. If I wait in the backseat, don't wait in the backseat. I've been on my own, looking for the sun, proof that I'm not the only one, and everybody sitting around me smiling happy. If I wait in the backseat, don't wait in the backseat. I've been on my own, looking for the sun, waiting for the proof that I'm not the only one, and everybody sitting around me smiling happy. If I wait in the backseat, don't wait in the backseat. I've been on my own, looking for the sun, waiting for the proof that I'm not the only one, and everybody sitting around me smiling happy. If I wait in the backseat, don't wait in the backseat. Oh, hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. I really wanna be your angel. I'll do my best. I really wanna be your angel. I'll do my best. I really wanna be your angel. I'll do my best. do my best. I really wanna be your angel. I'll do my best. I really wanna be your angel. I really wanna be. I'll do my best. My aim's to ease your soul, help you regain control. Pick up your feet and move the way you want it. I really wanna be your angel. I'll do my best. See, I really wanna be your angel. Really wanna be. I'll do my best. I'll do my best. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. When I see your full smile, it makes it all worthwhile. And I am smiling too. We both sing hallelujah. Really wanna be your angel. Really wanna be. I'll do my best. See, I really wanna be your angel. Really wanna be. I'll do my best. And I'll sing you hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. I wanna be 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 hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. I really wanna be your angel. I'll do my best. I'll sing a hallelujah.
All right. Welcome, everybody, to Grove Sessions. Yeah, I'm excited to be here. You know, our whole purpose was to create this podcast to let musicians and other creatives, you know, get in the virtual room with us right now and talk about all the good things they're doing. You know, we're just really interested in supporting music, especially at this time with COVID going on, and trying to find innovative ways to keep doing our work. So I'm here with Max Price, and he's head of social media marketing for Grove, and he's a producer, rapper, and CEO at Mind State Marketing. And we're here with Ki5 Loops, and that performance was amazing, man. Every time I see you, you just lift up everybody around. You're an amazing performer.
Mine.
It's cool to have you here, man. We love what you do.
No,
Yeah.
it's great. It's great to be here, and thank you so much for those kind words. It's always a pleasure. Always a pleasure to see you personally, and a pleasure to like have that space to perform. So glad to be outside and around people, just in the midst of everything happening. It was really fun.
Yeah, I was glad that we could pull it together in a safe way, and glad that the musicians like you could be there, because it was an awesome day. We got really lucky on the weather. Literally every time we did that production in the summer, it was like perfect. It was just gorgeous the whole time. And there's something about your music, man, that and you touch on some more serious topics in your songs, but the song, like, I've seen you perform before, but there was something special about that performance, just with everything going on. And one of the first tracks I heard from you, like your recordings, was Sunny Days. And it's just, it's good stuff. People got to listen. Ki5loops.com is where you can check it out if you want to listen to more. But let's go back a little bit, man. I mean, I want to talk about how you first got into music, because I don't, there's people doing things that are similar to what you're doing out there, but not around here. I don't see it. You know what I mean? It's amazing. Right. And, let's talk a little bit about violin, Ann Arbor, growing up there.
Yeah.
Beatboxing. Maybe we could talk a little bit about Toto and
yeah, that's right.
There's a story there, man.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about that for a minute.
Yeah. All right. So let's go back. So one thing I don't often specifically give credit is I am learning violin from a very young age, because I'm the youngest of 5, Ki5. There you go. My training was in Suzuki, the Suzuki method of teaching instruments and such. It's very like progression and book based, and you work up to playing recitals and such. So I was watching people perform before I was really cognizant of it, because I went to my older siblings' performances. So as soon as I could hold a violin, basically, they give you like a Cracker Jack box that has fake strings on it, and you pretend to play violin. So that's where I started, and I did violin through middle school, and switched to viola in high school, and picked up guitar along the way, all the while kind of singing. But something about reaching that high school singing, and seeing a cappella groups and the Toto references. I saw a group sing Africa, just like in like a school assembly, people were singing, I'd been in choir before, so I was like, oh yeah, singing. But I saw the performance, and I was like, that is cool.
Yeah,
I need to do that. I need to use my voice and sing. And it was a couple years later, I actually did joined an a cappella group myself that some friends were already in, and a cappella led me to the looping and the beatboxing, and the rest is history.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'm sure that a cappella experience really helps you with your looping and stuff, would you say?
Oh yeah. It provides the perfect foundation for learning how to use your voice to texture, because when you're in an a cappella group, 90% of what you do is background. And looping, that's the tricky part, is like figuring out how do you create a background, because people can sing, you can sing a solo, but it's like having the stuff to support it, and having just like the practice of like laying the groundwork. Like I think of it now, live looping, to me, it's a lot like building a playground, where you build like a little swing sets and like a little main tower to like hold on to. And then once you have those, then you just get to like play around. You just like go hang out. I'm over here. I'm over there. So yeah.
I love that. That's such a great analogy, man. That pretty much puts it into perspective for sure.
Yeah. And me, like I've always, I got into Mark Ribier last year, something like that. He started blowing up. And one of my friends got into looping as well. And I've always like thought about getting into looping? Like, what was your experience like learning that technique? And what do you have any tips for anyone that is trying to get into that?
Oh yeah, definitely. I have tons of tips. I do some one-on-one teaching sometimes, and I've led a couple workshops that have been really fun. So I think the most important tip I can possibly give someone is getting the timing right of the first loop is everything. Like that's the secret. That's the hard part. The very first loop, understanding the connection between the first recording, when it starts and stops. If you can get that in time, it's like giving yourself like a firm foundation. Right? If that's not like square and like good to go, then your whole building's going to be shaky. Yeah. But if you get that right, you can go straight up, and then you have no problems. So it's all about that first loop, and like a nice simple 1, 2, 3, 4. When you can get that down, you're gold. You're gold.
Yeah. I can relate to that. I use a loop pedal for my guitar rig, and I'm definitely nowhere near as proficient at it as I'd like to be. So that takes a lot of practice to get that right. Because you got to hit the button at the right time.
You got to hit the button at the right time. Yeah,
that's huge. Yeah. I mean, when I first saw you perform and I saw you, doing everything. I mean, I definitely there's some names that came up in my head to like comparables, and I'm sure. I mean, you know who they are. I mean, Reggie Watt. Reggie Watts is one of the first ones I saw, do something like that. But I saw him in concert with a band he used to play in. What's the name of the band?
Matchups.
Yeah.
He's sweet. I love.
And he had like a line 6 delay modeler looper, like mounted to his stand, and he was just doing it like live, and I was like, what is that? What is he doing? It was incredible, Right. But it's like you took all that and you took it to a another level too. And then he went into comedy too. So that was
right.
Comedy's a trip, man. It's super
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, I've seen. I mean, talking about Reggie Watts and like Mark Ribier too. They're two people that have taken the music of it. Like, obviously they're extremely proficient at the music side of things, and that's why they're able to do what they do. Yeah. But then they added that comedy, and honestly, I really think that comedy is what helped propel them to the levels of where they are, especially in the age of social media, where comedy is basically the biggest genre on social media. Do you ever use comedy in your music, or are you more like serious, just trying to wow people with like the skill and technique of what you're doing?
Yeah, that's a great question, because a lot of what I want to do is to continue to grow and not fully like pigeonhole the kind of things I want to do as far as like my shows and whatnot. But I definitely have done like lots of what I think are just like funny things and fun things for me to do. And like, if you go to a live show now, like, say it was 2019 and you go into live shows, like I like to do silly things and, take requests and incorporate the name of my friend's dog who's like coming out to the show, or like, I'll like hop into like a super deep voice that's obviously not mine and just have fun with it. But the fun part in like what I learned from Reggie Watts, just like watching him as the combination musician and comedian, is the freedom. I think that was part of what set me free, as far as, firing the judge to not be afraid to just dive in and try something. So the lessons of doing comedy and looping together have been one of the greatest experiences I've given myself. And like one major example was I once did a show, backyard show, that was like I had 2 songs prepared, and then I just planned to do an hour and a half of improv after that. Yeah, and
that's ballsy.
It was great. And it was great. It was so awesome. And the reason why it was so awesome was because every time I thought about what am I going to do I thought like it doesn't matter because it doesn't exist. Like you're not nervous for anything. There's not anything to be nervous for.
Yeah.
Right. You know how to use the loop station. You know how to sing, and when it gets to that time, you're just going to do that thing. So I think there's a lot of great lessons in improv and kind of getting yourself to that place. Even if I don't infuse comedy with my stuff regularly, it's been more about capturing a specific feeling. But I will always carry like comedy with me, and I like plan to do more fun shows like that in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is too, it's like, I mean, the improv does this too, and the comedy, like, I think they also help build that confidence that you really need, because comedy, like, you need to have the utmost of confidence to say like, this is funny, and I'm gonna do it to the fullest extent, just because I think it's funny and I know it's funny. Like with music, you're kind of you can be behind the veil of skill. Like, I'm this good, and you can't really deny skill. You know what I mean? It's just like, wow, they're amazing. But with comedy, you kind of have to put yourself out there and be like, I think this is funny. I hope you guys think this is funny.
Right.
You know what I mean? And same with the improv. Like, you know, I think I can get up here and make something cool. I hope you guys do too, you know, because I'm here to entertain you.
Right.
That's super dope. I mean, what has been able to prepare you? Obviously, like your a cappella group and stuff like that has helped prepare you to be able to do the improv. But is there anything else specifically that allows you to go up there and do that? Because that skill is an incredibly lucrative skill. Like, for example, Mark Ribier, for example, never plays the same song. He just goes up, creates music, goes on tour, creates music in front of people, goes live, makes millions of dollars just literally putting a camera in front of himself while he's creating music.
Right.
So, yeah. How does, is there anything else that you think people can do to help them get to that level where they're able to have the confidence to try and do that?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, one thing that helped me was, kind of the my early schooling and such. I actually went to a spot in Ann Arbor called Rudolph Steiner for many years, from like third grade through about through ninth grade.
Where is that? Is that off Newport Road over there?
Yes. Yeah. There's
like right there. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah. There's a K through 8 school. It's off Newport Road, and the high school's off Pontiac Trail. But you every class puts on a play every year. So I got really used to being in front of people, and when you're acting, like the better you get, the more you're able to kind of like fall into something and help the people watching you forget that people are acting, right? And as a kid, like, you're only so capable of doing it. But that's the thing, when you get a little bit of practice, at least every year, you build up that confidence from experience. And I also literally did a comedy troupe at Pioneer High School.
Wow.
Yeah, switched over there.
Pioneer.
Yeah. So I think it's really the exposure plus the belief that you can do it. I think showing up is a very difficult portion of it, but it's absolutely necessary. At some point, you just have to show up and try it out, and not expect to be Reggie Watts or anybody else, but just go in there and
do you.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Do you and be in the moment. Yeah.
And what I'm hearing too is like, you had all of the foundation. You talk about the foundation in the track. You have all of the foundational pieces to create an amazing entertainer, and you've been working on it ever since you were a kid. I mean, you're talking about acting, you're talking about comedy, you're talking about music, all those things you have in a package. And the best entertainers, the best musicians, even like rappers, anyone that is super successful, they're not just making the music, they're also acting, they're also being funny, they're also doing all these things that you've been able to build up over the years. So that, you know, it points to like, yeah, you got to show up and do it. And it's not something that, okay, you can show up one day not doing any of this foundational stuff and do. It's like, oh no, you've been working towards this point for a really long time.
Yeah.
You've put in your 10,000 hours in many different aspects. And now you're able to channel that and kind of open yourself up. And like you were saying, like as an actor, instead of just falling into the role of acting, you're able to fall into the music and just be a channel for creativity and let it kind of just roll through you without even having to think about it, which, you know, I think is really incredible, man. I mean, that's how the best creativity comes is when you're not like thinking and analyzing, you're just kind of flowing. And yeah, I love that, man. That's dope.
Right. No, and that's a great point. That multi-dimensional aspect where the different disciplines that you practice, they will feed back into each other. And like you can take what you learned from one and put it like into the other, and it makes everything stronger.
Absolutely.
So you're absolutely right. Yeah.
Yeah. And even like me, I was just thinking yesterday how rapping and the fact that I've rapped for the past 10 years, I've gotten up on stages in front of hundreds of people, you know, and had to act confident when I was super nervous. And like those kinds of skills, like, yeah, you think, okay, that's getting me better at rapping. But now, you know, when I'm in the business world and, you know, I'm a marketing consultant or whatever, now when I'm pitching to clients or talking in a podcast or whatever, I have that skill of talking and that skill of being able to be confident, even if I'm nervous or whatever. And so it is crazy how like certain things in your life that you're doing, you think you're just doing it for this one specific reason, but then it translates into like all other aspects of your life, you know?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. They all feed in. Yeah.
It's funny. Just listen, you know, just hearing you talk about some of your background. You know, same kind of thing. I spent lots of time doing like community theater and like doing the acting thing. And it's one of those things, I think it's been a long time since I've done it. And so I forget sometimes, you know, that, I actually bring, there is that skill set that I bring that even allows me to get on a stage. People are something like, aren't you nervous? Well, yeah, I've been doing it for a long time. I'm always nervous. Well, you don't look nervous, you know what I mean? But there's a build up to make sure that you're on point and to do the things that you need to do on stage. But yeah, you make it confident. And one thing you said earlier, which was cool, is, you know, talking about how you kind of create, you know, a vibe depending on where it is. And I was just thinking about the performance, and it was like you so successfully did that for that day. Cause I've gotten to see you perform other times, and it was like a different experience. And it, you know what I mean? And like, that's being able to do that as a musician and, you know, really anything. It makes people want to come and see you again. Cause they're like, oh, you know, they see you each time you bring something different to the table. And I think it's incredible, man. That's really fun.
Thank you. Yeah.
Model. It's the Grateful Dead model. People are going to tour. They're going to follow you around the country.
Yeah. Seriously,
because you can provide them an hour and a half of improv at every single stop. So
I just thought of a name for your followers. We'll call them loop heads.
Yes, that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
Oh, that is awesome.
He said Grateful Dead, so I had to go there.
Right,
you know?
right. No, I love that. I love that. By default, I was like listing things like a couple of years ago, and I was just like what can I call people? And eventually, I was like Ki fans, Fivers, and I was like, don't say Fivers, and then I was like Ki5, and then, you know, I was like, it sounds like Beyonce's like Beehive. Like, that's really silly. Like, I'm gonna do it. My default's been the Ki5 recently, but I don't know, we might have to rebrand to the Loop Heads. That sounds pretty good.
Cool. I like that. I like your idea too, man.
Hey, you can be a part of the Ki5 and the Loop Head. You know what I'm saying? You can be
right. Appreciate that. Yes, that's right. A little bit of it all.
Yeah. But
No.
have you been working on any new music like during the pandemic, creating some new stuff to come out?
Oh, Max, I've been working on so much music. It's been oh, dude, it's been a year of discovery. So kind of going back to what Rick was talking about, and thanks again for your words on the performance. What I've been able to do this year in the midst of everything happening was I've been looking for levity in my songs. And Sunny Days, I actually wrote the core of it right before the pandemic was kind of spread out and affecting the U.S. heavily. So I kind of had that thought beforehand, and I was able to carry it into June when the song actually got released, which I think was really good for me to be able to work on a song during that period that was about, experiencing what's always around you and available to you and having that lightness, which allowed me to write other light music like Hallelujah, which we also saw. And I'm really grateful for having that bit of lightness to explore and play around with. But the nice, we'll say that directly contrasts with what came before, which was very, we'll say it was more serious and kind of more like I kind of have to get some things out and such, and they're balanced out with songs like Honey. But the nice part about this year is I've been able to continue exploring different feelings now that I had some light stuff out, some heavier stuff out, just kind of the middle of life. So I've been collaborating with lots of people, which has been a lot of fun. And the plan is to have something out next spring, but it's been working on a steady flow of singles, and eventually I'll kind of combine what looks like a solid group of things for an EP. So really excited about things happening.
Very cool. And one of the collaborations that you've done that I kind of saw coming up soon is Whip Jam. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So I met Nadeem. Nadeem's a couple of years ago, and I just went over to his house and we just talked about music for 4 hours, and it was awesome. And I talked about where we wanted to go.
Yeah, I've had one of those sessions with Nadeem as well. It's those are good times.
It's so good. It's so good. And he is such a both positive and kind of next step and solutions thinking person that it makes him very easy to be around. And I love watching him, both perform and plan and grow as a musician. So I've learned a lot just from that friendship, and appreciate having him around. So he told me about the idea of Whip Jams, and I was instantly on board. And I was just yes, let's do it. I've actually wanted to loop in my car before. I bought a little outlets that I can stick into the cigarette lighter that I used one time a few years ago, and just was okay, whatever. It's been sitting in my trunk, so let's go. And we're able to have a little interview and play one of my songs in the front seat while I was driving around, and cameras everywhere. It was super cool, great experience, and I got to dance on top of a car afterwards. Yeah, what else? What else do you need?
Yeah, that's awesome.
You guys have been posting, snippets of things, but we're still looking for looking out for a full kind of episode. Is that right?
Oh, we just got the full episode out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How did I miss that?
Where do you go? Is that where would you go? The best place to see that?
You can check it out on Whip Jams, at Whip Jams on Instagram or Facebook. Either one of those. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, we'll put the link in the description.
Sweet.
For the video, so people can go check it out.
Yeah, please do. Yeah, very fun.
Yeah, it doesn't look like you guys had any fun doing it either, right?
Right. I was in a bad mood that whole day.
Yeah.
No. He's hey, do you want to do this? No, I don't.
What amazed me just from the clip that I just recently watched is just the quality of the audio and everything there with you performing in the car just turned out great, man. It's
thank you.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a popular show. I'm looking forward to more episodes and everything.
They have some strong artists coming up on that series too, man. I know like Danny Darling is going to be on there and everything. I'm excited for her episode, and
we saw that.
Other friends of mine, Mirror Monster is going to be on there. Their episode's coming up next. I'm just stoked to be a part of like the musician community. Like another reason why I'm stoked to be here. It's like keeping the community of musicians together, because oftentimes I can feel like a standalone island, like freelancer, especially nowadays, right? Very, very confined in my space, but like talking like, background and what we're working on now and like where we want to go with like other musicians. It's just like, man,
it's the best.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Why we started Grove Sessions.
That's right.
Exactly.
And I'm honestly like super proud of the music scene here in Washtenaw County.
Yeah.
And the way that, because I mean, I've been a part of it for the past 10 years, like in and out, going to shows and stuff like that. But I would say that like the way that I've seen the musicians in this area come together is really incredible over the years.
Yeah, no, it's very, very inspiring. It was Rick who had me come and open for the day nights in, I want to say it was like still like winter, like January, February 2019, after seeing me at Tech City Jam in 2018, and like doing that show was just like really, really good, like good for me personally, but like just like very inspiring just to like be out there, like, and share music for people, like supporting the day nights and whatnot. So I'm personally grateful to Rick for helping me like evolve and like become more into the scene. So thank you, Rick.
That means a lot to hear you say that, man. I almost completely forgot that that's actually where I first saw you perform at that Tech Jam.
Yeah.
That was fun, man. Yeah, that was the thing. The first time I saw you perform, I was just like, I was sold. I was like, this is awesome. There's nobody that I know that's doing that locally at all, and I'd only seen it like from the people that we mentioned before, like Reggie Watt and stuff like that. And I have to say this, and maybe people have drawn comparisons, but there's and now that I know, like, you've got this classical training behind you, it makes even more sense, because Bobby McFerrin was like, he did, he was most known for his pop stuff, but if you look at the list of people that he's collaborated with, it's incredible, right? Both on the jazz and the classical side. Is that a fair comparison? Like,
definitely.
Are you a fan?
I'm a fan. It's like the greats leave these markers like in lessons if you look for them, especially singers. I think I can learn anything from any singer who's traveled the world, and especially one who has as many diverse experiences as Bobby does. But the circle songs they did, and like the freedom that he employed with just think about the human voice as just being very, very simple and very stackable, and also very both communicative and collaborative. Like it's all those things in what he puts forward. And I just like listening to his stuff, I just like absorb some of that and kind of put it out in my own way.
Yeah.
And like that's what I love about, having like this beating heart of music, where I get to just like absorb things and then put things out, and then continuously cycle in and out and always learn. Like, I think that's really important for what I do, is my performances will continue to grow if I continue to grow.
For
So
sure.
That's kind of always on my mind.
And you have, man. I mean, each time I feel like each time I've seen you perform, I can tell you've just like kicked it up another notch and you've absorbed some more of that stuff in the world. I love being able to share a stage with you with day nights. And like when you talk about the collaborative thing, I mean, it'd be incredible to do something collaborative with you. You know, with the day nights, you know, when we can get in a room together again and do something like that.
Right. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, it'd be super fun. I mean, you know, all of your songs, like you were talking earlier about like that place you were at like before the pandemic and some of the music that you were making, you know, and sort of that lightness, you know, it's a sunny days and that kind of thing. But you do get what some people might say political on one of your tracks. Yeah. And some people say, oh, I don't like politics mixed with my music or whatever. That's a powerful song, and it's called "Show Me Freedom," right? And even the image that you chose for the artwork on that, which I like the images that you choose, by the way, for the artwork.
Thank you.
I assume that's you doing that, but I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool. You know, what do you say? That statement? You know, I don't like politics in my music. I hear it, people say it, but I personally don't agree with it because I think music can speak. But what do you say to people who might have that view?
Right. Yeah. So I think I got to the point where the things happening like inside of me had to be expressed somehow. And like, since music is like part of how I understand, like, and just process the world, that song that I'll say it naturally emerged, like, even though like the whole process, like, it didn't feel good, because a lot of it was coming from originally a place of like pain and hurt at just like the reality of the world. And then what mixing with the influences of like the light stuff was able to do, it helps like propel the gap between like reality and a possible future, you know? So like that's what the song's about. It's about like, it's show me freedom. So it says like, I don't see freedom now, right? I don't see freedom specifically for Black Americans, but it is possible. Like, we know theoretically how to make things better. So show me it, you know?
Right.
And it was like in the midst of, you know, you have every big company, we'll say half the big companies around the world are like on the Black Lives Matter train, like as of May, June 2020. Right. But it's just, if it's only like a saying or a statement you put out, then it's just that, and that's where it dies. Like, I want to see, I want you to show.
What does that really do?
Yeah,
you know, it's like, and we felt like the same way. We were like, we made a statement, obviously, because we support it, but it's like that it can't just stop there, because, you know, everyone's making a statement. So what does, you know, another statement really do? What does the change, where it really is the change happening?
Exactly.
You know, and that was part of the reason, you know, why we created the Amplify program, and Rod, you know, helped us fund that, because we just, you know, we wanted to figure out how to really use our resources to make some change, you know, instead of just talking about it.
Yeah. Know? Yeah. You got the actions have to be taken, and they have to be real tangible actions. And I think it's, you know, 2020 was obviously has been a crazy year in a lot of ways, but the fact that some of the, you know, these inequalities and inequities came to the forefront for, you know, in the mainstream media, so to speak.
Right.
But this has been going on for far too long, and it's Absolutely. Like just because it's not part of some people's consciousness doesn't mean it's not happening.
Exactly.
And so that place of pain that you came from with that song is real. And I want, please go and listen to that song after you're done watching this. It's on Bandcamp. Is it or anybody can go to Ki5 Ki5loops.com. and you can get to any of your music from that website. But go listen to that song. It's an important one, and
Thank you.
I'm glad that you used your talent to speak out. And
yeah, absolutely. I appreciate that so much because even like I can't tell you how much music I listen to where I like the music, but I don't like the content of the music.
Right.
And, it's probably 99%, I would say, of the music that that comes out because I'm always checking out new music that comes out, and I always like the music because it's good music. I mean, people make good music, but the content and people that really put themselves out there and in their content and really create meaningful content has always just been like the most important thing to me. And obviously the music has to sound great for it to be great music. And I mean, obviously you have that down, but then when you can use your platform to really speak to either society things or things that are really meaningful to yourself as a person, I just think that that is so honorable, because music is one of the biggest reasons I started making music was because I saw music as one of the biggest and best ways that you can influence the world. I mean, people all over the world listen to music and are extremely affected by it. So I think I just think that's amazing, man, that you're using your voice and your talent to draw attention to these issues.
Absolutely. Thank you. I appreciate that a lot. I got to a point where for me to continue making music, that had to come out first. There's definitely like an honesty to letting what you're feeling come out as a musician, and kind of circling back to the original statement that Rick brought up. What would I say to someone who doesn't like when politics and music mix? There are certainly songs that I make that other people make that aren't for everyone, and that's fine. That's totally fine. And I think giving it a listen and just hearing it, just hear the words themselves, and then if you're not affected by it, then that's all right too. But I would just suggest going just listen to the music anyway, and see if it makes you feel something. See if you can see where the person is coming from, because one of the best gifts that I think we can give each other is empathy in the form of our time and attention. Whether or not we exercise that gift, that's up to us individually.
Man, you said it so well too. Like, that's the empathy piece is so huge. I think like 99.9% of the times when people don't understand where somebody else is coming from, there's just a pure lack of empathy.
That's the problem.
You don't know somebody else's experience. It doesn't matter who they are. It literally, you cannot know somebody else's experience. You haven't nothing. So I always see that lack of empathy, and that's I think one of the things that troubles me most in the world, honestly, is when people lack that empathy. And I'm certainly guilty of it at certain points. Right? Like, maybe we all are at times. We get in our own head and we're like, oh, this is my experience. This is my experience, because that's how you experience the world. But yeah, you nailed it, man. That's absolutely spot on for sure.
And it's like, it's hard. It's hard for people to show empathy sometimes, because like everyone's inherently selfish because of, nature. Like, you want to survive, you know what I mean? Right. So you're thinking about yourself, and then you want your family to survive. So you're thinking about your family. And I would say most people agree with those ideals of, taking care of your family and taking care of yourself, but then when it comes to taking care of other people and treating other people, like they should be treated, or, having a society where, people can actually live and be comfortable instead of, being stuck in this cycle of poverty. Like, people just don't care about it because they just care about their family and they don't have that empathy of, wow, there's like billions of people in the world that are starving. You know, and how do we work towards a better place? You know what I mean? And I think that empathy really is like the lack of empathy. That same thing with me, Rick. That's the thing that really like pushes me the wrong way when people are like, yeah, I mean, all I care about is my family, and like everyone else can, you know, just kind of go screw themselves, you know?
Mm-hmm. Right. That in-group versus out-group mentality, it can be the thing that, you know, becomes our like ultimate demise as a society, because, you know, as soon the only looking at like your own hurt and like and thinking that's the most important thing, even though it's not where the conversation stops. You can do the same thing with a group of people. Like, we're hurt like in this way, you know, and if you're not willing to like take the time to understand like another group's hurt, then we can't like, you know, get back together and be like, wait, like we're the same group. Like we're all struggling in ways. We're all afraid. We're all trying to do our best just to figure this out. You know, it's difficult, and it's a practice. And I think using empathy with music is probably my greatest weapon. And as far as like my own learning, the thing I want to keep doing the most. But I'll say one more note about Show Me Freedom that's important is it's not just my voice on it. I was able to get some friends and some people who I don't know at all who sing in a friend's choir out in Denver to send me samples of them singing. So when you hear the song, you hear other voices on it, and getting to mix that, it's like, you know, I sent them out like kind of what to sing, and getting that back and stacking it all together, that was really powerful, because, you know, empathy, the first message of it is you're not alone. And that was really important to hear, and mixing that with Show Me Freedom, I think was part of what made it really strong for me.
Well, I mean, I really just, I love what you're doing. And I love the depth of thought behind your music. It's very clear. You're an amazing man, and you're going places with this stuff. I really do. I believe that. And I know it's a lot. I know it's a lot of work to, you know, before what we just saw in that performance. There's a lot of, you know, a lot of hours.
Yeah.
Kid, right?
Right. You would, yeah, no, you get it.
It's
you
amazing.
have to be like in it, or like really, really in a discipline, especially creative work that, you know, can be seen by lots of people to understand what's behind it. But thank you for that. And like sometimes I forget like how much of the different experiences flow back into the music, but this conversation kind of helped me remember and like contextualize. Is like, all this makes perfect sense how I got here, and it's all been good, challenging work, but, you know, it's just my life, and I'm thankful for it. You know, I really love it. I love what I get to do.
It is crazy too how like you go through life as, you know, a youth and a young adult, and you know, all these things happen to you, and you just are like, this is crazy. What is life? What do I want to do? But then like when you get to, you know, this type of point, you can look back and be like, oh wow, everything I did led me to be right here where I am. And if I didn't do any one of those things, or if one thing might have happened differently, I wouldn't be in the position that I am right now.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
And I guess that's the thing now. I mean, obviously, you know, 2020 threw us for a big loop with you know, COVID and all of the other things happening, both politically and socially. But you know, there's a certain amount of uncertainty, I think, for all of us, especially as musicians too, that you know, we're fortunate. I think we have a really supportive overall community that we live, you know, here in, you know, Ann Arbor and Ypsilanti and, you know, Washtenaw County and stuff. But there's an uncertainty. But you know, what do you think is certain? right now for you, or for, you know, anything that we've kind of been talking about?
What's certain for me right now is I have the ability to create, and I, for whatever reason, have a certain number of people will just listen to something if I put it out. And that's not a responsibility that I take lightly. I feel very honored that people put their trust in what I've created, where if I say I made something, they'll be like, great, I'm excited to hear it. So I am in that place of knowing that I can create, I can reflect, I can speak my truth on what I think is happening in the world, and then letting go of like the other parts beyond that I can't control, I think is another like spiritual discipline in and of itself.
That's I wouldn't expect any less of an amazing response to a question like that, man. You're deeper than the ocean, man. I appreciate that about you. I always enjoy our conversations. I wish I saw you more often. Hopefully we can look forward to some more of that this coming year.
I would love that.
And do some stuff. And we're working on some cool things as far as live streaming performances coming up here in the first quarter of the year. And so hopefully we can get you back out, because
yeah,
amazing to work with you. And we're gonna keep creating no matter what. We're gonna find ways to do it. And I like your passion for that. So
yeah, and I love what you said, man. It is certain that we all of us, all the creatives, have the ability to create and have the ability to influence the world with our creation. So it's our duty, you know what I mean? And
yeah,
that's powerful, man.
Thank you.
Yeah. So make sure check out Ki5loops.com. I'm definitely part of the Ki5 hive. I'm a loop head.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, it's fun. I just made that up today. I wasn't even thinking about it until we started talking.
I think that's great.
But for sure, go there, check out the music. Check if you didn't see the performance before this chat. Go back and watch the performance. It'll brighten your day for sure. I know sometimes we could all use that. And thanks for joining us, man, once again. And you take care out there. Stay safe, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you. You as well. Appreciate you both.
Yeah.
You guys are awesome.
Thank you, everybody, for listening.